Everyone knows about Barack Obama and his story, but there's a cloud of mystery surrounding the strange life of Barack Obama Sr., a Kenyan and British national who disappeared from Barack Jr.'s life when he was only 10 years old. The life of Barack Sr. is a strange one to say the least, and in this video I'm going to dive deeper into his mysterious life, as well as the strange circumstances surrounding his death. If you like this kind of documentary style content, then consider subscribing as I post weekly history videos about topics that many creators won't cover. Born on June 18, 1934 in Kendu Bay in British Kenya, at the age of 6, Obama changed both his name and religious affiliation. He went from Baraka to Barack and converted from Islam to Christianity at only 6 years old after attending a Christian missionary school. His upbringing was rough to say the least. The household in which he grew up in was extremely strict and abusive. His father, who later changed his name to Hussein, would regularly whip him and his siblings as discipline, and he was forced to recite multiplication tables before he was allowed to eat. This would later make him more academically skilled as he would excel in his studies. His teachers described him as the smartest boy in school. When Barack was 9 years old, his parents separated and young Barack would be raised by his stepmother. Later, he would leave his home village and attend a boarding school where he had academic success. In 1954, he married his first wife and had 2 children, Malik and Uma. In 1959, he was selected for a special academic program and traveled to the United States to enroll as the first African foreign student to study at the University of Hawaii at Manoa in Honolulu. While in Honolulu, he met Stanley Ann Dunham, another student. She was studying Russian at the time. During the Cold War, learning Russian was a very valuable skill to have. They would marry in 1961, the same year Barack Jr. would be born. However, the marriage did not last long, and due to Barack moving to Massachusetts to attend Harvard, the pair decided to split, leaving Barack Jr. without a father figure. Throughout the relationship, Barack never told Stanley of his previous marriage, which had never been annulled in Kenya, as well as his other children he had fathered. While at Harvard, he met Ruth Baker, and they both moved to Kenya together after Barack's graduation. In Kenya, they married and had 2 children, Mark and David. He now had a total of 5 children with 3 women. Now this is where the story takes an interesting turn. On his return to Kenya, he fathered 2 more children with his first wife, bringing his total to 7. He managed to secure a good-paying oil job at Shell, where he worked as an economist. He was even promoted to work for the Kenyan Ministry of Transport and eventually the Kenyan Ministry of Finance as a senior economist. These were very good jobs to hold in Kenya. Barack's life seemed to be going amazing. Life was good, but just as quickly as things went up, it all quickly went back down. In July 1965, seemingly out of nowhere, Barack wrote an entry to the East Africa Journal criticizing Kenya's president Jomo Kenyatta. Kenyatta was president for nearly 15 years, and his presidency was considered highly authoritarian, which makes the decision to criticize him all the more baffling. Not surprising, he was fired from his job, and he was completely blacklisted from the government. His name was tarnished. Nobody wanted to hire him. His wife was now threatening to leave him, and things would only get worse. In 1970, he was hit by a car and hospitalized. Now, the official report says it was accidental, but the timing is interesting to say the least. He spent nearly a year recovering in a hospital, barely able to afford his medical bills. It was in December 1971 where he returned to the US to visit young Barack in Hawaii. He spent the holidays with Barack and gifted him a basketball and took him to a jazz concert. After saying his goodbyes, young Barack would never see his father again. Barack Jr. would soon adopt the name Barry Soetoro and move with his mother to Indonesia. Not long after, Obama would be involved in his second car accident, this time claiming both his legs. It was after this that Obama would turn to a life of drinking. His status in Kenya was forever destroyed, never to be reclaimed. In early 1982, he would have his 8th and final child, his son George Obama. George Obama currently lives in one of the poorest neighborhoods in Nairobi and has struggled with alcoholism and addiction for most of his life. Just 6 months later, he would be involved in another car accident in Nairobi, this time claiming his life at the age of 46. The life of Barack Obama was truly the life of ups and downs, and like his second wife Stanley Dunham, would never live to see their son become the nation's first African American president.